Hello everyone. Namaste. Vanakkam. Namaskar. Namaskaram. Alne. Barija. Jema. So just now I greeted you in multiple languages. Wasn't it interesting? I guess it was. So I'm Abhishek Verma and in today's video we are going to learn an advanced topic of Spring REST, that is internationalization and localization. Now the question is, why do we need it? So nowadays websites not only show the data in English but also in the languages which you are speaking. This not only enhances the user experience but will also help to reach to the audience who don't know English. And today we will see how to implement the same in our Spring REST code. So without wasting more time, let's directly get started and see how the things are going to look like. Now before we start with our today's demo, as always, let's do a quick recap of the previous demo, that is demo number 17. So we are here and now let me go to this UML diagram somewhere here and let me increase the size a bit by doing something like this. Let me scroll it here. So here you see that first of all, we are having a demo class. Then from there, we are moving towards the controller class. In controller, we are having 4 APIs available here. Then from the controller, we are moving towards the service layer. We are having the interface implementation class. Then from there, we are moving towards the repository layer. We are also having owner mapper and owner pet info mapper to convert the data from DTO to entity and entity to DTO. Then beside this, we are having controller advice, we are having custom exceptions, we are having DTO classes, owner DTO, pet DTO, having one-on-one relationship. Under pet DTO, we have domestic pet DTO and wild pet DTO. We are also having the enums for gender and pet type. Beside this, we are also having the entity classes, owner and pet. Again, one-on-one relationship, and under pet, we are having domestic pet and the wild pet. We are also having the error DTO and owner pet info DTO. Then, if I just scroll a bit here and let's move on towards this owner controller, because that's the point where we made the changes. So here you see that I have added few annotations using which we can customize the documentation of Spring REST. Now here I'm using the term customization of the documentation because the very basic documentation is available just by adding a one simple dependency, and that is Spring Doc Open API Starter Web MVC UI. So the moment you are going to add this dependency, you will be getting a very basic documentation. Not only the documentation, but using that particular UI, you can even test your APIs without the requirement of a separate postman. But in case you say, no, I wish to customize the things, then you just need to add these annotations one by one. Yeah? And it is completely up to you how much customization you need. So basically for this, you obviously need to interact with the architect of your project or the manager of your project. Then you will be discussing and then you will come to a conclusion that, okay, these many details we need in our project. In case if you are a student, then also whatever I have shown, that is more than enough for your project. Because trust me, this much is enough for your teachers. They are not going to understand more than this. Yeah. Then if that is the case, now if you want to learn the complete thing in detail, then obviously you need to watch the previous demo. Now let's come back towards our today's demo, and for this I will be going towards this demo number 18. Now do you see that we have created so many demos and here also this complete space have been filled up. So yeah, this is the thing, and here in this Spring REST playlist, see, I'm showcasing so many things to you. Otherwise, just imagine that this course could have been a course on Udemy or some other website, and there you may be paying a big amount of money and then you will be getting the course. But here I'm providing it completely free of cost to you. The only thing which I need in return is your support. And when I say support, then also I don't mean to say that you need to donate me any kind of money or anything. I just want that you watch the videos on time, you like the videos, you comment on the videos, and please share it with your friends as much as possible. Not only your friends, but even on other channels, like maybe on Instagram, you can post that you have watched this playlist, how is your feedback, or maybe on the LinkedIn, you can comment something about this so that we can increase our audience as much as possible and I can provide the same free knowledge to everyone. Now, before we start with this demo, let me first of all show you a small deck of only one slide and explain you what is this internationalization and localization and when do we need it. For this, we will directly go to our deck. And now we are here, and as you see that in one slide only, I have kept both the things, internationalization as well as localization. So let's see step by step. So first of all, internationalization. It's a very big word. So in short, we can call it as i18n, where 18 stands for the 18 characters between I and N. And in short, I will keep on using the term i18 only in this particular demo itself. Then it says that it means designing your application so that it can easily support different languages and cultures. Now the question comes is, why do we need to support different languages when we are making our application in Java only? So here, I'm not talking about Java, C, C++, Python or these languages. Instead, I'm talking about the languages which we generally speak, like English, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Punjabi, Urdu, or whatever the language you are speaking. So those languages we are considering here. And for this, what it says is that first of all, you need to move all the text into an external message files. So that text means that you see that we were throwing some kind of exceptions also. So for throwing those exceptions, we were providing some kind of message. Now the rule says that instead of writing those message in your Java classes, you should be writing the message in your messages.properties file. Now you will say that, okay, Abhishek, this is something which we have been already doing from the demo 1 itself. And trust me, not only the demo 1 of Spring REST, but even in Spring Data JPA, Spring Basics with Spring Boot, even in the Hibernate, even in the Maven, even in the JDBC, in almost all the playlists, I have by default shown you this thing. Okay. Then beside this, not only the messages, but other things also, like formatting the dates, numbers or the currency. Because here, let's say that since we are in India, so we use the rupee symbol. But if someone is viewing the application in America, so they love to see the dollar symbol. Same way in Europe, they have the euro symbol. So depending on the country, they have different currency symbol. Same thing for the numbers also, as well as the date also, because some people in some countries, they like to see, first of all, the date part. But in some other countries, they like to see the month part. Okay. So those things. So that is the internationalization. And the next thing is, it says avoiding hard-coded values in your code. Now you may get confused with this line later on in this demo, because there also I will be providing those kind of text hard-coded. But here the hard-coded means that it should not be written in your Java class. Instead, it should be written in your messages.properties file, so that later on, if you want to enhance those things or you want to make some kind of updation or deletion, then it can be done easily just in those properties file only. You don't need to touch your Java classes for this. So that is internationalization. Now you will say that, okay, some part of it we have been already doing. Although like in our case, we were not doing anything much with numbers and currency. For date also, we were using the default format. So that is fine for our case. But at least for the text, we were always using internationalization. Now comes what is localization. So for localization also, there is a short form, and that is l10n. I hope that this one is more difficult to pronounce more than localization. Okay. So again here 10 means the 10 characters between L and N here. Now this says that here you will be customizing your application for a particular language. So see the difference. In the first one, what we did was we moved all those messages, all those text and all those formatting in the separate messages.properties file. And we were having one single messages.properties file. But now the thing is, let's say that I want to see the same thing in India. So in India, there are people who just know, let's say, Hindi only, or there are people who just know Tamil only, they just know Telugu only, or they just know that particular language only. Now you want to make the reach of your website to that particular region, to those people. So what you will do is, in your application, you will start using that particular language. So that is localization here. Yeah. So what we will be doing is, we will be creating more and more messages.properties file or those kinds of files, and there we will be writing the message in that particular language here. not only the message but other things also. So as I said that in some countries they like to see the date part first, but in some countries they like to see the month part first. So we can even customize that particular part. We can even customize the currencies and other things, some icons, some colors, those things also can be customized. So like you take example of this Amazon website. So on Amazon website, if you open amazon.in, that is the India part of that particular website, then you will see that okay, there is the flag also on top of the website. Then beside this, it will show each and everything to your area specific. I mean, those things will be available in India. But the same website, if you will open in America, then it is not going to show you those things. Instead, it will show you the American flag. And beside this, it will show you the products or things which are available within the America in that particular dollar symbol and each and everything. So that is what we call as localization. So that the moment your customer opens the application in some particular different country, then depending on the system only or depending on some other parameters of the browser, it will decide which particular locale or which particular currency, which things it needs to show here. Now here I'm making usage of the term locale. So what locale means is, locale is a very big umbrella term here which converts all those what we say as languages also, date format, number format, currency, those icons, colors and so many extra things. So like we have a local word, then there is something as locale. Okay, so that is how we are going to relate these things. So that's why today we are going to see that how we can localize in our application. Now the question will be that okay, one thing is clear that today we are going to learn multiple languages in this video itself. Now the question is which all languages we are going to support. How I have decided it. Am I just going to show you in English and Hindi or maybe some other languages also? So for that, what I did was that I asked you a particular question. So let me directly show you the question here first of all. So just 2 days ago on my YouTube channel, I posted this particular post. And here I asked you guys that okay, you need to comment me the language which you speak, so that later on whenever I will be making this kind of a demo, then at least you can tell me whether the language or whether the thing I have used that is right or wrong. Now for this, many of you guys have commented and there are 20 comments in total. Now although that 20 comments means that okay, since I have also replied to most of you, so I guess these are like 10 or 11 comments only, not even 20 from you guys. Okay, so we got request for Nepali, we got request for Kannada, we got request for Telugu, we got request for Malayalam, we got request for Yoruba, we got request for Tamil, we got request for Comoros also, and again Tamil. Okay, so all these languages I have considered in today's demo. Now if you will feel that I have not considered your language or your locale, then that means that you have not commented here. In case you would have commented here, I would have considered that also. Yeah, but that's not an issue because once I will show you how to do it later on, you can just try the same thing on your own also, and then you can comment me whether it is working for you or not. Yeah. Now after this, let's directly go to our application, and that's here. So what we will do is, let me show you this demo number 18. So in this demo number 18, let me start it from here, something like this, and parallelly I will be showing you the controller class also. So here is the controller class, and let's go inside this. So you see that today we are having one single API only, and that is find owner. Okay, nothing much, because just with the help of this one API, I will be able to show you all these scenarios here. Okay, so now let's go to Postman and see what this API can do. So for this, we will go here and we will directly go to this demo number 18, just one API. You have already seen this earlier also. So what I will do is, first of all, let's go for this particular as 72 and let's try with this one. So for 72, you see that we are getting this kind of an output. So this is a wild pet and hence we are getting birthplace and everything is in English only. Simple. Yeah. Then beside this, if I try something as 12. So for 12, we will see there is a domestic pet and hence we are getting birth date. Now this birth date is a by default local date only. Nothing formatting, nothing else here. Yeah. Then what if I try something as 120, which is going to look like this, and let me click on send. So for this, we will see it says can't find owner with owner ID 120. Now this is an error message which we are getting from the messages.properties file. Again, you have seen this already, and now let me try it as -120. So for -120, we will see a different message, that is owner ID must be a positive number and it's a bad request. So in short, this API is showing you 4 different kinds of responses, 2 different kinds of error, and then 2 different kinds of the response as per the pet, wild pet and the domestic pet. Now, let's go back to our application and see from where it is picking which particular part. So here we are. Now, first of all, if we see here, the moment you are going to provide a negative ID, then that particular thing will be caught here only. It won't even allow it to go to next level. Okay. And from here only, it will say that, okay, owner ID should be a positive number. Now, how it is taking that particular thing is because here we have messages.properties file, and from here it is picking the message. Now, where we have mentioned that we need to pick from this only, so that is in the demo class. So again, this is something which we have been doing from the very first demo itself. Nothing new here. Yeah. Then, so this is the thing. Now, let's say that if you are providing a positive ID, so then it will go to this particular find owner. In the implementation, it will try to look into the database. 2 things can happen. Either it will find or it may not be able to find. In case it is unable to find, then again, it is taking the message from the messages.properties file. That is this one, can't find owner with owner ID, that particular thing. But this time it is making usage of @ value here. So the way it is picking the message, that is also different. These messages which you are showing in your service layer, those you are doing with the help of @ value. But the ones which you are showing here in the validation part, basically like these kind of validation, or like last time in demo number 8. So there, if I show you something in the DTO, so let me just take you there. So there you see that we were also providing these kind of validations on it, of size, not null, and other things. So those things also were getting picked directly without mentioning @ value. So this is how things are working, and you already know that it works something like this. My just point is so that I can iterate the same thing. Yeah, because later on this thing is also going to matter a lot here. So that was the second thing. And the next thing is that in case everything is fine, then it will just show the output in that particular JSON format. So this is how the things are working. Now the thing is that currently it is showing me the message, everything in English only. But let's say I want to see it in some different language. So just for the starting part, let's start with Hindi as of now. So first of all, with Hindi, I will show you everything, and then I will just simply add all other files also. Yeah. So what we will do is we will go back here, and for this, the only simple thing which you guys need to do is you need to say here except in the header section. So all these are the by default headers which we are providing here. So these are the default headers. You need to add a new one. So that header is going to be except language, and we write it something like this, except-language. And this is not the first time we are working with the headers. In past also, if you see demo number, I guess 14 or maybe 12. Yeah. In demo number 12, we did API versioning. There also, I shown you the custom headers and the except headers. So for the API versioning. So that also you already know the thing. So what I will do is here I will say HI. So why I'm saying HI only, why not Hindi? So for this also, there is a small story. Let me try to explain you that particular part first. So here, as you can see that I have opened Wikipedia. I'm not sure how many people are using it nowadays, but this is something which is helping me here. So here you see that I have searched for ISO 639. So this ISO is a kind of a standardization organization, and what it did was that it has assigned some codes to each and every language, the most commonly spoken languages. Okay, so there are again different sets also. So there is set 1. So set 1 is, I guess, almost containing 189 or these 639 languages. So it is containing these many languages, and then it has assigned some code to each and every language. Then there are some languages which are not commonly spoken. So hence they are not a part of 639.1. Instead, they are a part of 639-3. So for that, you can go there. But our main goal for as of now was Hindi. So what I will do is I will say Hindi here, something like this. And you see for Hindi, the code is HI. So this, first of all, this first column is for the set 1, then set 2 and set 3. By default, in case if there is something available under set 1, we should be using set 1 only code, that is HI, because this is a standard code. Now you will say, what if, since it is my application only, what if I use Hindi instead of HI? Then who will stop me? The answer is no one can stop you. If you say you will be using Hindi, that's your wish. But the thing is, you are not going to keep on having your application only. At the end, you are going to work in a big project where multiple people are going to work along with you. And hence, it is not the case that you have chosen just Hindi as the word. Instead, you should be going by the standards and the best practices. And hence, those best practices are these codes only, that is HI. Okay. So this is the number one thing. Another thing is that in Java also, it is going to work with those ISO codes only. And that also I will show you in some time. So for that reason, here we have mentioned here HI. Yep. So this is the thing. So now what I will do is, I haven't made any other change in the code. So let me just click on this. Okay, I'm not getting any different output. It is still showing me the same thing only. The reason is why it will show you a different output. Because here only you are saying HI, that is Hindi. But in your code, you have never mentioned anything in the Hindi. So that needs to be done first. So for this, let's go back to our code here, which is going to look like this. So as you see, currently we are having messages.properties file. Now what I will do is, I will copy this and I will paste it somewhere here. And I'm going to rename it as messages underscore HI. Now this format is also very important. Here you need to say underscore HI only. So underscore is a part of format, and then this HI is going to correspond to the thing which you are providing in your headers, the HI. So there, if you are saying Hindi, the complete word, then here also you need to say the complete word Hindi only. Okay, so here let me create something like this, and this is my HI file. Now what I will do is, the only thing pending, that instead of the word English, I need to write the same thing in Hindi. But here I'm not having the Hindi keyboard available with me. So what I will do is, I will bring this Google Translate here, and I'm going to write it something like this, and then let's see what it is going to create. So here it says Swami ID एक सकारात्मक संख्या होनी चाहिए. So it is going to write me something like this. Now if you click on this, it will show you some options also. So it says Malik ID ek dhanatmak. So here I like this term as Malik ID. So what I will do is, I will copy this part and let me paste it here. So I will go back to this particular one and I will paste it like this. Now you will say that, okay, Abhishek, why is it showing like this? So the thing is that for this, we don't have any ASCII code, and hence it is showing you the Unicode for all these things. But the point is, the moment you are going to take your cursor here, it will show the exact language, whether it is Hindi, Chinese, Urdu, or whatever language it is. It is going to show you the correct thing. And generally, most of the IDs are going to support this by default only. Now the thing is that, okay, here I like this part Malik ID, but I don't like this ek dhanatmak sankhya. I mean, that is like too much Hindi. Okay, so we are not used to with that much. So what I will do is, I will just go here, and from here I will change it to something as this first one. And now what I will do is, I will copy this particular part. Okay, that is from like this much only. Okay, so these many things. So except first two words, I will copy each and everything. And here what I will do is, I'm assuming this is my first word, then after space this is my second word, and then this is the complete thing which I need to replace here. So I will be selecting like this, and I'm going to paste it here, something like this. Yeah. So this is the thing, guys. Yeah. Now if I scroll it here, now you see it is showing me the correct thing. Malik ID ek sakaratmak sankhya honi chahiye. And that is something much more readable than the previous one. Yeah. So, and in case you say no, it should be something better, then you can tell me in the comments what we should have written here. Yeah. Now let me just go here and restart the same thing. So here it is, and it is getting started. And as of now, I haven't made any other change. So I have just created this new file and I have pasted the content here. That's it. Nothing much. Okay. Now let's go for this one and let's again try the same thing. So with -120, when I try the again and I pass here accept language HI, automatically it is picking the new locale. Okay. That is Malik ID ek sakaratmak sankhya honi chahiye. Okay. So like this, it is automatically picking the things. You will say for other things it is not picking because that's an enum. and this is a particular integer, and this is your local date and time, and these are your variables. So those things you are not going to change, because you just remember what we saw in the localization, the messages and these things, because this is something you want to show to your user. You don't want to show your user something as this particular part. Okay, so that's the thing. Now the thing is, if I remove it, then what will happen? So if you will remove it, then by default it will go to English only. So that is how it is going to work here, guys. Yeah. Then another thing, what if I say here something as FR? So FR is for French. Okay, so let me say something as FR. So I'll click on something like this. Then what? Now it is not showing me anything in French. Why? Because the reason is very simple. For FR, I don't have that particular file, messages underscore FR. Now, since I was not having messages underscore FR, then by default, what it will do is it will fall back to the default language, that is English only. And hence you can see this kind of a message. Now, I hope the things are clear. That first of all, you need to provide the accept language header here, and then you just need to create that particular file, and that's it. The only main thing which you need to take care here is that this value should be same whatever you are mentioning after the underscore. Now let's go back to this hi again here, and what I will do is let me just again show you this one, and now let's try for the other ones, that is 120. So let's try for this 120. So for this one, we are still seeing it in English. The reason is very simple why we see it in English, because I haven't changed it as of now. So what I will do is, instead of showing and doing again it one by one, I will directly copy from there and paste it here, and then I'll show you that how it is going to look like. So for this, let me just go back there and I'm gonna paste it here. So let me just paste the same thing here, guys. So yeah, it's going to look something like this. Okay, the other one also I have updated. So now the first one is owner ID. Now this thing I'm not changing, because owner ID is my variable name here. So in the second message, the owner ID was a simple word, hence I changed. But in the first one, owner ID is a variable. Variable name I don't want to change. Okay, so that's why I want to keep it as it is. And percentage %s is so that I can replace it with some number later on. So this I will also keep as it is. And now let me just give a restart. So isn't it interesting that we are able to see the messages in Hindi? Otherwise, you guys keep on telling me that, okay, make these tutorials in Hindi, make these tutorials in Hindi. But see, the main thing is that these languages are what? Languages are just a way to communicate our thoughts. Yeah. And that's something which we are able to do with English. So using English, we are able to cater a wider audience here. And later on, when you will go into some actual project, at that point of time also, you will be working with multiple people. They may not know Hindi at that point of time. Yeah. So at that case, English is going to help you. And that's why I say that, okay, this thing, all these demos and everything is in English. Okay. I hope that you were not thinking that I'm going to sell you any English course after this. Okay. I'm not going to do something like that. In case I will have something, then also that is going to be free of cost only. I'm not going to sell. But the thing is, before selling, here it says that, okay, this one is still not working. Now at least I have given it in Hindi. So let me try with this minus again. Is that one working? So yeah, that is working fine. But for this one, why isn't it working? So when I just say 120 here, then this is not working. What do you feel? What can be the reason? The reason is the way we are reading these values. So if I just go back here and let me just stop it, so we can stop this one. So if you see here in the owner controller, this first thing, owner ID positive. So this we are reading directly. So the way this value is getting read is in a different way. Here we are not making usage of @ value. But if you go to your owner service IMPL, the way you are using or the way you are reading owner not found, you are making usage of @ value. Now this @ value depends completely on this thing only, that is this particular part, messages.properties. And hence it says that, okay, I just know this file only, nothing else. Okay, so hence it is not able to show you other languages and other things. Now what do you think? What needs to be done? You will say that, okay, Abhishek, that means that we need to put a comma here and then we need to start providing all these files here one by one. But trust me, that is not going to work. Because if you will provide all the file names here one by one, then what it will do is that first of all, it will pick this file. Then it will see that, okay, English is there. then it will pick the second file, from there it will pick Hindi, and then always it will keep on showing you in Hindi only. So it is not going to change as per your locale. But what I want is that these messages should be changing as per the language which I am passing from my controller, from my header. So how to do it? So for this particular part, we need to do some extra amount of hard work. So let's start doing that. So for this, we will go here and we will create a new class. So that is something here, and here we will call it as locale config, because as I said, overall we call it as a locale. Yeah. So here this is the thing, and yeah, this is how it is going to look like. Now it completely depends on your requirement. Now in case in your project, the requirement is that you just need to read these kind of message and you just need to localize these kind of message, then the thing is very simple. You don't need to do anything extra. Just create a file and update the things. But if you are going for these @value and other things, because generally in service layer and other layers, we are making usage of @value, then you obviously need to do this particular way. So since I have given it a name of config, that means I will be creating a configuration class. So let me write it something like this. And yeah, this is a configuration class. Now, since I have created it a configuration class, obviously I will be creating some bean also. So let me create a bean here. And the bean is going to be for the message source. Okay. So here our goal is to define other message source also. So by default, it was only messages.properties file. Now I will be defining other message source. So here I'm going to say something like this message source, this particular one. And yeah, this is going to look in this particular way. Control-Shift-O. Yeah. Then here I will be making usage of reloadable, and that is going to look something like this. That's a very big name. Reloadable resource bundle message source. Such a big name. Okay. And here then let's create an object for the same thing. So what I will do is I will copy this part. I will paste it here. I will then write it something like this. Then I will paste it here. I will say here new, then the same thing. And then this way we are going to create the object, and then we are going to return the same thing. So here we are going to say this one, and yeah, this is how we are returning. Now you are saying that, okay, you just created and you are returning. Where have you defined all these sources? So that needs to be defined something like this. So here we will be saying this particular part, and here we will be just setting a base name. Okay. So sorry, not there. I mean, I don't know how that happens. Okay. So here we will be saying set base name. Okay. So you just need to set the base name. You don't need to mention all the files one by one. That is the best part. Okay. So what we will be doing is that here we are just going to copy the same thing. So let me copy this complete thing here. So from here I will be copying, and here let me paste the same thing. So there we have mentioned so that it will start reading from messages.properties file. And here we are writing only the base name, so that all the files which are starting with the word messages that get loaded into this particular bundle here. Yeah. So that needs to be loaded. And the another small thing, which is just like a mandatory kind of a thing, that is the encoding part. Okay. So here, like by default, it is UTF-8, but again, sometimes there are some issues. So hence, as a good practice, we should be encoding it for UTF-8. Yep. Again, this is a kind of a standard which needs to be done. So what we did was, here we are basically saying that now you need to load not only this messages.properties file, but also all the properties file which are starting with the word messages. Yep. So this is the main thing. Now let's see how we are going to use it. So for this, what I will do is I will copy this complete thing. So let me copy this complete part, and I love copy pasting. So let me go here, and here we need to inject that particular bean. Yeah. So you can inject it anywhere. So what I will do is that since it is a service, it's a configuration. So let me inject it somewhere here. So I will be saying here private, then I'm going to say here final, and then I will be writing it something like this. This is how it is going to look like, guys. Yeah. So this we have injected. Now the thing is, using this, we need to get the messages. So for this, what I will do is, instead of writing in this method only, because currently I'm having one method, but in your case, there may be 10 methods. So instead of writing in a specific method, what we will do is we will create a separate method here. Okay. So here we are going to say private, then we are going to say string here, and then we are going to say here get message. Okay. So get message, and here we are going to pass the key. So that is going to look something like this, and this is how it is going to look like. Then here we are going to say return, here we are going to say message, then this is source, and here we are going to say dot get, and here we are going to say message. Now in this message, we will be passing it something like this. We will be passing here key, and the second thing which we just need to pass here is the locale. So how we are going to pass? So we are going to pass it like this, locale, then we will be saying here context, and then we are going to say here holder, and then we are going to see here get locale. So this is how you are going to pass. Now it is showing you some error. The reason is that it is not meant for these two arguments. Instead it is meant, so there is some overridden method also. So you need to pick this second method, okay, that is which is taking some kind of object array as an argument, but we don't need to pass, so we will be just saying null there, okay, because I'm not interested in passing any kind of argument. So currently we are just passing the message. So only those messages we want to get. We don't need to pass any other thing here. And what is this locale? So what it will do is automatically. So from your controller, let's say the request came for Hindi. So automatically what happens is it will get saved into this particular context. In this one, locale context holder. Yeah, you will say that who is saving. So that is something which Spring Boot is automatically taking care for you. So what it is, it's a simple holder class that associates a local context. So this is how it is going to look like, guys. Now after this, what's the next thing? Now the next thing is that we need to pass this message, okay? So now we need to select the message from here. So let's see how to do it. So currently what we were doing. So currently what we were doing was we were directly taking the message from here only. That is owner not found. But instead, now we need to invoke this particular method, that is get message. So I will copy this one, or let me just copy this particular part from here, something like this, and let me provide it here, and then let me say it like this, get message, okay. So now what we are doing is, earlier whatever the thing was, we were passing it directly, but now this particular string we are going to pass into this get message, and then from there we are going to pick the message as per the locale. Now the thing is that since now you are going to pick from this source only, so you don't need this @ value, okay. So you don't need something like this, and instead we will be writing it in this particular way, that is this, guys. Yeah, so it is going to look something like this, and yeah, this is the thing. So this is the main part, guys. So here we are providing the key. So earlier we were taking help of @ value to do the same thing. Now instead of @ value, what we are doing, we are passing this key into this get message. So this key will go there, the locale will go like your Hindi or whatever is the locale, and from there it is going to pick the thing. Now just one small thing, that since this becomes a, I mean, it's a kind of a constant only. So instead of writing it something like this, what we can do is we can make it as a constant. So let me just replace it something like this, and like this is just for the good practice, okay. So we are just making it as a final context, because now we are not making usage of @ value, okay, so that no one tries to change it in between, as a good practice part, okay. So this is something which we have done here, and now let me just say here Ctrl+Shift+O and Ctrl+S, and that's it, nothing much. So let me just give it a start, and now let's see what will happen. So what we have basically done by the time it gets started. So first of all, I went here, I created a locale, that is locale config. It's a part of my configuration now, and here I'm creating it for the message source. The main purpose, so that it loads all the files which are starting with the word messages. Then what we did, we went to the service sample, we created a method here. Now with the help of this message source, we are going to pick the things. So here we are passing the key, and with the help of this, we are passing the locale. You don't need to pass the thing anywhere in the hard-coded way. And that's the thing. Otherwise, just see how difficult it could have been. From the controller, first of all, you would have saved it to a variable, then you would have passed it to the argument here, then from here you would have passed. So we are not going to do something like this, okay? So let's go back here, and now let's give it a try. So yeah, this time you see it is working fine, okay? Because now it is able to read the things, yeah? And if I remove it from here, then it will by default show me in the English only. And let's try with French also. can it show me in French? So obviously I don't have any file as of now. So if I will try, then this also is by default set to the fallback of English only. Yeah? But this is how the things are going to work. And now let's just end it with something as Hindi in this particular part. So with Hindi, it says owner ID 120 and something like this. And this is something deliberately. I'm keeping it like this way only. Okay. So this we have seen here. Now the same thing we can do with other languages also. Okay. So that also can be done, but that we will do in some time. But before this, what I will just want to show you one more interesting part is that here, if I go for something as this one, that is 12. Okay. So with 12, you see we are getting a domestic pet. And there we have something like date also. So what if instead of just getting this date, what if we can get another date also, like some kind of a formatted date, okay, that can tell us some more details about this particular thing? Isn't it going to be interesting? Okay, so let's see for that what all things we need to do in this particular part. Okay, so for this, what we will do is we will go back here. So let me just click on this, and first of all, so what I want is in this particular owner mapper. So first of all, here we are doing the mapping part. Yeah. And in this mapping, what we are doing is we are mapping all the things from the owner to owner DTU. Now, after this mapping, let's create one more mapping. Okay. So here I'm going to say map, and that is going to look something like this. Now, what it will do is it will accept one owner DTU, something like this, and here I'm going to say in this particular way. Then here I will be writing it in this part, and then again I will be saying it as owner DTU in this particular way, guys. Okay, but as of now I'm just returning it as it is. Now what I wish to do in this one here is that I wish to say that first of all, from this owner DTU, let me get the pet DTU. So here it is. So get pet DTU, because the date is available only for the domestic pets, and hence we need to do something like this. Okay, so let me get it like this, and here I'm going to say it as pet DTU. Here I'm going to say it as pet DTU, and this will look like this. Yeah, and here let me say Control Shift O. Then I will be saying here if, and I will say that if this pet DTU, so if this one is an instance of, okay, because we don't want to do it for all, we just want to do it for that one. So here we are saying domestic and then pet DTU, something like this, and then I will be saying it like this, domestic pet DTU. So what I'm doing this particular part, I'm actually renaming the variable. So if this pet DTU is a instance of domestic pet DTU, then it will get renamed to domestic pet DTU. In case it's a wild pet DTU, then it won't even come into this particular if condition. Okay, so this is how it is going to look like. Now from this domestic pet DTO, what we will do is we will get the date. So here we are going to say this, and here we are going to say birth date, something like this. Yeah, and here what we will do is we will format it first, and then we are going to save the same thing again. Now in order to do that particular formatting, or first of all, what I wish to do is, can we even format it? Let's try to see. So let's go inside this somewhere here. Now you see this birth date is just a local date. So in local date you can't format, there is no way. Okay, local date is going to look in that particular way only. So what we will do is, now we are going to break our logic a bit, and here I will be saying something like this, and I will be creating a formatted birth date. So this will look in this particular way. Okay, so here I will be creating another variable that is formatted birth date, and let me pass it on in all these places just to ensure that everything is in intact. Okay, so it is going to look like this, and here also I'm just going to make a small change, although I don't think so it is required as of now. Okay, because we are just using it for one time, but still as a good practice. Okay, so here we have created one more variable. So now what I will be doing here is that here I will be saying domestic, and then I will be saying here domestic pet DTO dot set formatted birth date. Okay, because this one is not getting set by default. Now what we are going to do is we are going to pick it from here somewhere into this particular part, or here first of all let me set it as something as formatted, and here we are going to save it like this. And yeah, and what we will do is whatever is the thing which will come here, we are going to pass it on here. So in this particular way. So this is something which we want to do. We want to format this date, save it in a variable, and then set for this particular one, so that in the output also we will be able to see something new this time. Okay, but then if you want to format it, then how to do it? For this, obviously we will be taking help of the date time formatter. Okay, so let's create a new thing. Otherwise, you see, this method is becoming very big here. Okay, so what I will do is I will create a new method and I will call it as private string, and then I'm going to call it as private local, and this is going to be date. Now this is going to accept a local date only. So here it is going to be local date, and here also let me write it in a same way, local date, and then it is going to be something like this. Yeah, this also, if you feel it is looking big, we can make it shorter. Okay, so this is something it is looking, and what we will do is we will take help of this date time formatter. So the thing is date time formatter. Now if you don't know how to make usage of date time formatter, then I guess you have not watched my date time API video. In that I have mentioned this complete thing in detail. Okay, and that is a must video for the Java 8 things. Okay, so there we are doing something like this, and here what I will do is, here first of all I will say off something like this, and then I just want to format the date part. Okay, so I will be using this method localized date, and within this we are having something as format style. So here I will be getting format style, and then what I will do is, okay, it is not detail, it is style. Okay, so this is format style, and from here what style we are getting? So first style is full. So what full will do is, for each and every date, it will show you the day, then it will show you month, it will show you date, and it will show you the year. If you say full, then there is something like long. For this, it will just show you month, date, and year. Then there is medium, which will show you month in short form, only Jan, then date, and then year. And then there is some short also. And this is, I guess, it is going to show you in that particular number format. Like for December, it is 12, for January, it is 1, or something like this. Let's go for this full one. Okay, so we will be picking this full as of now. It is your choice which one you wish to keep. Okay, so this, and here we are going to see here format. So what we need to format is, we need to format our local date, something like this. And then, okay, I'm not sure why this keeps on happening here. And then here I will be saying a return. So it is going to look something like this. And now what we will be doing here, guys, is we will be copying this and we will be providing it here. And then we are going to provide it here. So this one is going to look like this. So see what we are doing. First of all, this is the by default mapping, which we have been doing till now. Then I have created one more mapper. Now within this, what I'm doing is I'm taking one owner DTO. Then from this, I'm just getting a pet DTO. Then I'm checking if that pet DTO is a type of domestic pet DTO. Because for wild pet DTO, we don't have anything like date of birth. So there is no fun of doing it. Yeah. In case it is a domestic pet DTO, then I'm invoking the method format local date. I'm passing the local date and I'm getting the full thing. And then whatever is the output, I will be setting it back to the next variable formatted birth date. You can't set back to the same thing because that is the of data type local date, not a string. And another thing is that if you feel that, okay, this method is looking big, so what we can do here is that I will copy this part and I'm going to say somewhere this particular as a refactor, and I will say extract a method out of this. Okay. And for this, what we will do is here we are going to say format dates, something like this, and I will be saying it like this particular way. Okay, so this way you can create a new method also. So here we have created a separate method, and now I guess it looks much more better. I can make it even more shorter. Instead of first saving it somewhere, I can directly pass it into this particular way, and then I can remove it like this. So this is looking even much more better to me, guys. Yeah, if you wish, you can rearrange a bit also. So like this is something which we were using first of all, so we will be writing it here, then this method, and then this method, the way you are going to invoke this thing. Now since it is one line only, so you don't need to mention all these things here, and then here also you don't need to mention all these things, and here also if you wish, you can convert it to as something like this format dates. Okay, so see, this is the way you will be making usage of Java 8 in your code. People keep on saying that Java 8 is still difficult. Trust me, first of all, I have created a demo for lambdas, datetime API, streams, each and everything in detail. One longer videos for each and every topic. If you're not watching, what can I do max for this? Okay, I have even created shorts for this part. And still, When you guys don't watch that, then in between I will keep on doing like this. For me, it could have been very easy. Here I could have written something like this. I could have directly created this method and I shown you this is how it is going to look like. But instead I shown you that how step by step you are going to code all these things. Okay, so this is the thing. And now let's just execute again. Let's see the magic this time, guys. Okay, so we are here and let's go back to this particular one, 18. Now let's go back here. So first of all, let me just remove it. And what I will do is I will do something like this. So you see, for English also what it is doing, it has created one more variable, formatted birth rate, and then it is showing the complete thing. Sunday, 27 September 1998, a by default thing. Okay, now let's see the magic thing, whether this will work or not. For Hindi, I haven't done anything extra. I'm just passing it like this. Okay, let's see, will it work? Okay, this is not working, guys. Okay, that's a strange thing. Why isn't it working? What do you think? What's the issue? Let's go back and check what's the issue here. So if I try to see the issue, what it is doing. So basically this is the method which is formatting. Okay, so and formatting is working fine for us. That is for sure. The only thing is that it is not working as per this locale. Okay, so this locale it is not picking. But the question is, how will it pick locale? Like, where are you saying to pick it locale? You are not mentioning it anywhere. You are just taking, you are saying format to full and then you are formatting it. So before this, what we need to do is we need to say here with locale, something like this. Okay. And here what we can do is we can just copy this particular part and we can pass it here directly. See the magic. You don't need to pass anywhere as an argument. That's the reason I deliberately made a mistake here. Okay, so I knew that, okay, this was a mistake, but this is how we are doing. Now let's again try to restart the same thing, guys. So with this demo number 18, we are starting it and let's see whether it will work or not. So yeah, it has started. Now let's again give it a try. So first of all, let's see with English, is it still working or not? So with English, it is still working. Let me try with Hindi. So with Hindi, see, automatically it is saying. So 27 instead of September, it is saying September, complete Hindi. And instead of Sunday, it is saying Ravivar. Was in English, it was Sunday. So let me see. I don't remember. Yeah, it was Sunday, 27 September. Something more interesting you want to see. Still, as of now, there is English, which is by default. Hindi, I have created. Okay. But in the file, I didn't made any change, which means that this is something which is not related with the file. Otherwise, it could have shown me that, okay, in HI file, you don't have anything in Hindi, but this part is not related with your files. So this is something which will work by default magically. So you can say here FR and that will be French. Okay. So in French, it is going to look something like this. That is Dimanche and 27 September. So something like this. I'm not sure how to pronounce it completely. Now let's try with something else. Okay. Let's try with Telugu. So let's say here TE. I know because I have seen that particular page of ISO codes. So for Telugu, it is TE. Let's try this out. So for then it is saying something like this. Now here I assume that this is Sunday. And since it is coming in between, this is September. But you guys who know Telugu, they need to tell me, is this right or wrong? Does it mean September and does it mean Sunday or not? Okay. Now let's try on with the Tamil. So let's try with Tamil, and with Tamil, we can see it in this way. Okay. Now I'm assuming this is Sunday. My assumption is this is September, but obviously you are the ones who will tell me whether it is working or not. Another one was Malayalam. So let's try with ML. So for this, so it is looking like this. Again, you tell me whether it is working or not. Okay. And then the another one was Kannada. For that, I guess it is KN if I am not wrong here. So let me just click on this and yeah, this is how it is going to look like. Again, you are the ones who is going to tell me. One language was Yoruba. So let me try for that too. So for this, we are going to say YO. So let me say, will it work? So yeah, it is writing something like this. So please tell me whether this is the right thing or not in that. And other thing was Comorian. And for Comorian, let's say COM. So this Comorian is not a part of standard ISO codes. So that's why we don't have it for 2 letters. Instead, we are having it for 3 letters, COM. So for that, I guess we don't have anything much. Hence, by default, it came to us this English only. So I guess that's the thing. Okay. But it is not even showing September. It is saying SCP. So I guess it is taking this locale, but within this locale also they must be calling it in this way only. But whosoever has requested me for the Comorian, they only can tell me whether it is right or not. Okay. So you see that these date part is something which was working automatically by default. I don't even need to add those kind of files here. Okay. But for all those messages, if you want, then obviously you need to add. And what I will do is I will copy all the files which I have created somewhere here, and let me just copy. And what I remember is for Comorian it was not COM, my bad, it was SWB. So for Comorian it was SWB. So yeah, for SWB it is same. And there was one request for Nepali also. You will get angry that I have not considered it, so I will say any here. So for Nepali it will say like this. Now you tell me whether it is right or wrong. What I understand is we also use the term Aitwar, so that is right, and this is September, so I'm assuming this is right. Okay. Now let's go back to this one and let's add all other languages also, something like this. So I will be pasting it here. So now you see we have Hindi, we have Kannada, we have Malayalam, we have Nepali, we have Comorian, we have Tamil, we have Telugu, we have Yoruba. Yeah, this I'm not sure whether I'm pronouncing it right or wrong. Okay, I can open all these also. So Telugu is looking like this. So I will go here. Now you can verify whether this is right or wrong. In case this is wrong, then please don't get angry with me because I wasn't sure. So I just took help of Google Translate for this. Okay. Then this is Tamil. So again, you are the ones who will tell me whether this is right or wrong, whether it is actually converting the things or not. And this is Comorian. So those who don't know, I guess this is how it is going to look like, but I guess it is not able to identify it completely. Okay. And then this is Yoruba. So that's looking something like this. And then here we have this Nepali also here. This will look like this. So let me just go here and let me just give it a last restart because that's the last part of this demo, guys. Okay. So this is something which we are doing here. Now let's try with other ones. So first of all with Nepali. So, okay, this is something was working. Let's try as 120. Because for this one only we did the extra amount of hard work. Other ones was work. So it says something like this. Bhaiko, Malik, Fela, Brain. You tell me whether this is right or wrong. Okay. Like at least this is something which I can mention. So what is this Tamil? Let's try this one. So it is going to look like this. You tell me whether it's right or wrong. Then let's try for Telugu. So you can print it something like this. Let's print it for Kannada also. So let's write it something like this. And then let's try it for Malayalam. So this is looking something like this. Let's try it for something as Yoruba. So that is going to look something like this, guys. Yeah. And then here it is Comorian. So the code for Comorian was SWB. Okay. It's not always those letters, but it was something like this. Okay. And this Comorian is a part of ISO 639-3, not 1. So see, while learning these demos, not only Java, you are learning so many extra interesting things, and still most of you are not subscribing or sharing it with your friends. Okay. So please do, and do let me know whether these languages, whether the translation was right or wrong, or was Google wrong. Obviously, I'm not the wrong person here because I just trusted on Google for this. So you tell me whether this was right or wrong. In case I have not considered your language, then you just need to tell me in the comments. And this is something which we were able to do in this particular demo. Now, one small thing besides before we leave today, that is for this particular part. Okay. So you see there we are having these other words also. Mia, Hernandez, Margao, Goa, then this email ID, then something, then something, then something. For these things also, do you want me to change these values? Like, do you want to see those things also? Although that's not a part of internationalization and localization. That's a part of transliteration. Okay. And that's the term, transliteration. So if you want to see that how these things also can look and to some other language, then you can let me know in the comments, and then maybe I will try to add a demo for that too, because that's a part of transliteration. But today we have seen how to do internationalization and localization. More things like you say, what about currency, what about other things. So that is something you can just keep on trying the things, and this is something which you need to do. So thanks everyone, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.